Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Nicole and welcome back to our English class. Hello once again. How was your weekend? It's already Monday today, so it's our first day for these weekend classes. Well, anyway, as you can see on your screen, we are going to focus on something that can really boost your IELTS and TOEFL speaking scores, writing and speaking scores, pronouncing academic collocations clearly and naturally. Now, if you are not familiar, or if you know, or if you are not familiar with collocations, what are collocations once again? These are word pairs or groups that naturally go together. Say, for example, strong evidence, play a role, or highly effective. So those kind of pair of words, they go together naturally. You will hear them a lot in academic contexts, and of course, using them correctly and clearly makes your speaking sound more fluent and as well as accurate and of course formal because we're talking about academic contexts. So here again today we're not just learning the meaning of these phrases that I will be showing to you, I will be introducing to you. We are practicing how to say them clearly with the right stress and rhythm. So that means knowing which word to emphasize, which is the stress syllable, stress syllable or stressed word, how to connect also with the sounds smoothly, and how to avoid sounding robotic or unnatural. So this is super useful for your IELTS or TOEFL speaking test where good pronunciation helps you get a better score in both the fluency and the pronunciation bands. So get ready to repeat after me or with me. Listen closely and, just participate as much as possible. Let's make your academic English sound sharp as well as confident exam ready, of course. Well, let's start with the first set of phrases, which is under argument and opinion. So these are collocations that are used to express opinions, to present arguments, and respond critically in IELTS or TOEFL academic writing and speaking tasks. First collocation here is take a stance. I think we are all familiar with this, but let's try to talk about it still. So here this is take a stance, meaning to choose a side or opinion and make it clear. So you choose and express an opinion. Take a stance here. We understand it as clearly expressing your opinion or position. That's the word, it's the key word. Position on a specific issue or topic. So this is especially important in IELTS or TOEFL writing tasks where you need to say if you kind of like agree or disagree or explain your viewpoint. You are not just thinking or feeling something here. You are more of like saying, here is where I stand. So that is take a stance. Okay. So in different exam tests or exams, you can use this particular collocation in agree or disagree type of tests, or you want to give opinion on this statement, or you want to involve yourself in debates, in discussions, or essays that ask for your position on an issue. So there is a need for your position on this particular argument, this particular subject. So that's for this first collocation, take a stance. Of course, when you try to use this particular collocation, as much as possible, your tone should be confident, should be formal and assertive. Take a stance because you're trying to choose a position and you try to, give enough information to support your position. So you should be assertive and, of course, confident. When it comes to pronunciation, now here on the last column of the table, I have provided the IPA transcriptions of the collocations. So again, IPA stands for International Phonetic Alphabet, where it is more of like a guide for pronunciation. So here, this is the IPA transcription for the phrase take a stance. All right. Here, we start with take. Now, take, it is one syllable here. and it is actually kind of emphasized here. Since this is a stressed syllable, we try to say it a little bit longer, we try to hold it a little bit longer, or we try to say it a bit louder. Okay, so take a stance. You emphasize this particular word. Now, as you can see on its IP transcription, it has a diphthong. Now, what is a diphthong again? I've mentioned it a lot of times already in my previous sessions, but just a quick review. A diphthong is when a vowel sound smoothly glides to another vowel sound. So here, basically, a diphthong is vowel sound plus vowel sound. You get a diphthong. Here, the diphthong is A in take because it adds the vowel sound of E and I, or E and E, I mean. So A. Again, the diphthong sound that it creates is A, which is part of the sound of take. Okay. That's the first word. Here it then follows a schwa sound. Now again, what's a schwa sound? I've also mentioned it a few times, many times, plenty of times on our previous sessions. So a schwa sound is a weak and stressed, basically not stressed vowel sound. So here, this is a weak and not stressed a vowel sound. Okay, so that's a schwa sound. Lastly, here we have stance, which is also actually emphasized here. So meaning there's two stressed words in this particular phrase or collocation. Take, first one, and the second one is stance, which also has one syllable. Now, in the case of stance, it starts with a consonant cluster or consonant blend. Here, it takes two consonant sounds, S and T sounds. We try to blend them, the sounds of the two consonants together. We try to blend them together to create a more smooth one consonant cluster sound. And then it is then followed by a short A vowel sound. This particular symbol, that is also considered as a short A vowel sound. There's another symbol for that, but we try to I will be pointing it out later if there is in the next collocations. But here, if you see this particular symbol in IP, if you can see, that's a short vowel sound. So when we say a short vowel sound or short A vowel sound, we tend to refer to vowel sounds that is mentioned or that is pronounced a little bit shorter. You do not hold it longer, you say it a bit shorter, so it's quick in this instance. So this is stance, not stance, but stance. Again, stance. It's quick, it's short. So all in all, if we try to combine all these words together to create the collocation, we say it as take a stance. Again, take a stance. Though I mentioned that take and stance are emphasized, which means that we hold it a bit longer and say it a bit louder, but we do not really try to really say it really loud, okay? Because that will sound unnatural, like take a stance. We do not say it like that, but we just say it more naturally, like there's just subtle difference in their volumes. So we say it as take a stance. Take a stance. Notice that the middle sound of the collocation, which is the schwa sound, the short, weak, and stressed A vowel sound, it kind of like blend within the two words. So take a stance. Again, take a stance. There's just subtle difference of emphasis there for the stressed syllables or stressed words, but we do not say it like too loud, okay? We don't say it too loud because it will sound unnatural, of course, in a conversation. All right. Next to this is present an argument. Again, present an argument, meaning give reasons to support an idea. You want to show or explain your reasons for something, basically. So you are giving reasons here. You are supporting evidence to show why your opinion is valid. You are making a logical case, like a lawyer in court, for example. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. In writing and speaking, it means you are organizing your ideas and showing them clearly to convince your audience. Same as the first one, we try to use this, of course, in writing essays for both IELTS and TOEFL, in academic debates, in presentations, or when defending your viewpoint with examples or data, we consider them as evidences. So when it comes to pronunciation, of course, present is the first word here. As you've noticed, the spelling is letter S, right? But here, the sound it creates is a buzzing sound, which is the letter Z sound, which is a voiced sound. Okay, so present. Now here, when we try to start with present, we start with the first syllable first. For the first syllable, it just starts with a consonant cluster of the two consonant sounds P and R. So the sound it creates individually are and R. So we try to combine those two sounds, we get her. Again, her. And then here, there is a vowel sound after which is E. Present. Present. E, which is a short E vowel sound. So we say it as pre. Again, pre. Next to that, the second syllable, which is the stressed syllable here, so we say it a bit more loud and we say it a little bit longer, we emphasize it basically, is zent. That's the second syllable, zent. It starts with a buzzing sound, although the spelling of the word is letter S, which is a hissing sound, which should be a hissing sound. But here we try to say it, we try to follow the IP transcription, which clearly shows a letter Z here. So what's the sound that the letter Z makes? It's a buzzing sound. It's a voiced sound. Now, how do we know, again, if a sound is a voiced sound? We just, touch our neck, feel our throat, and say the sound. If your neck or not, if your throat vibrates, then of course it's a voiced sound. If it does not, then it's a voiceless sound. So we try this with this one. Say the sound of letter Z. 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 It clearly vibrated, which means that it's a voice sound. As compared to letter S, S. S. There's no vibrations at all, which means that it's a voiceless sound. So here again, we try to pronounce it with a buzzing sound, with a voiced sound. So it is present. Again, present. There's a stressed syllable here, which is the second syllable, zent. Present. Following this is un, which has a schwa sound. So this is basically quick, short and not stressed syllable here in this particular collocation. So we try to, most likely, this particular word un is typically, blended within the two words before and after it. Next to that is argument. Again, argument. So it starts with, we try to break it down. There's three distinct sounds here. So we try to break them down, starting with R, which is the stressed syllable here. So we try to give more emphasis on this particular syllable. Again, it starts with R, which has a short A vowel sound, and of course it ends with an R sound. So R. Following this is GU. Again, GU. So it has argument. So it has a short U sound. It starts with a consonant cluster sound of the sound that the letter G and Y makes. But if you've noticed in its IP transcription, you might get confused why there's a letter J in there. Now, remember, I've mentioned it in our previous sessions that in IPA transcription, letter J symbol is the symbol for the sound that the letter Y makes. Okay? So the Y in the spelling of a word, the IPA equivalent of it is letter J. Okay? In simple terms, the letter J, the IPA symbol of letter Y sound is letter J. Alright? So that you just, you don't get confused. Because, yes, it's a bit confusing, of course. But we try to clear that confusion in here. So again, the letter J here is the letter Y symbol. Okay? So again, this is GU. And then it ends with ment, which has a schwa vowel here. So all in all, we get argument. Again, argument. R is the stressed syllable. Now we try to combine all the words together. We get present and argument. Again, present and argument. So keep a natural rhythm, not too fast. Just, pace yourself. Present an argument. All right. Next, put forward a claim. Again, put forward a claim, meaning suggest an idea or opinion. So here you want to say something that you believe is true. Often in an argument or essay, you can use this. So you're trying to suggest or state an opinion that you want others to think or accept. The words put forward, it is a formal way to suggest or offer, and the words acclaim after it is a strong statement that can be backed up with reasons or proof. Pronunciation wise, we start with put, which has a short U vowel sound in the middle. Following this is forward, which has two distinct syllables. First syllable is for, with a four, so it's a little bit longer, a long O vowel sound, and this is also the emphasis, the stressed syllable in this particular word. Following this syllable is ward. Again, ward, which has a schwa sound. So there's a weak and stressed A vowel sound here. So again, this word is forward. Next to that is which is schwa sound. We do not dig this deeper because this, I've already mentioned about this on the first few collocations, and we will encounter this particular schwa sound in the following collocations. So we do not dig that much deeper. So following this is claim. Again, claim. So it starts with a consonant cluster. The consonants K and L, the sounds of those two consonants are blended together to create a one sound. To create a one sound. So it is then followed by a diphthong sound. Now the diphthong sound here is A. Again, A. So all in all, this is claim. It ends with a nasal sound. The nasal sound is letter M sound. So we try to say it together. Put forward a claim. Now claim is also a stressed word here. Put forward a claim. So you emphasize on for in forward and claim, the last word. Excuse me. Fourth word or fourth collocation is support a hypothesis. Again, support a hypothesis. Here, meaning is give evidence for a theory. So you want to give evidence or reasons for a scientific or academic guess. Now, a hypothesis, we understand it as an educated guess or theory, right? So when we support it, we give facts, we give examples or data to show that the hypothesis might be correct. So this is used in scientific writing, in academic reports, and maybe in IELTS or TOEFL writing to show logical thinking, of course. So this is support a hypothesis. Usually it is used when explaining findings in research or maybe case studies, or writing about trends or possible reasons maybe behind a pattern. And of course, it is also used in essays that discuss causes, effects, or maybe theories. All those things. We can use this particular collocation. When it comes to pronunciation, support a hypothesis. We start with support, which has two syllables. We start with so, again, so. So there is a schwa sound there. The schwa sound here, it sounds like like UH. So it sounds like that. So, so, support. Now, as clearly from how I say it, the stressed syllable is the second syllable, port, which has a little bit longer vowel sound. So we say it as support. Again, support. Then followed by a schwa sound, and then after the schwa sound we get hypothesis, which has four syllables. Yeah, then you stress on the second syllable, po. But we start with first syllable first. It starts with high, which has a clear I diphthong sound. Following that is the second syllable and the stressed syllable, po. Again, po. So there's a short vowel sound here, but it is given emphasis. The whole syllable is given emphasis. So it is po. Following that is the, hypothesis. Yeah, the. Again, the. It uses it starts with a voiceless th sound because there's two versions of th sound. First is the voice th sound, and then the second one is of course the voiceless th sound. What's the voice th sound? This is the words included. The words that uses voice th sounds are the, there, those. So those kind of words are voiced th sounds. How do we again, identify if a particular sound is voiced or not? We just touch your neck, feel our throat vibrates. If it vibrates, it's voiced. If not, voiceless. Now, I've mentioned that the words the, those, there are using voiced th sounds. So let's see. The, there, those. There's a clear vibration when I try to pronounce those words. So I am correct. Those words use as a voice th sound. Unlike this one, the, there's no vibrations at all. So again, this uses a voiceless th sound. Following this is sis. Again, sis, which is just very simple. It uses a short E vowel sound. Before and after it is just a hissing sound. So all in all, this is hypothesis. Again, hypothesis. So we try to say it together. Support a hypothesis. Again, support a hypothesis. All right. Next collocation is challenge and assumption. Again, challenge and assumption. Meaning question a belief or idea. So you want to question or disagree with a belief. An assumption, we understand it as something people believe without proof, right? That's an assumption. We all have assumptions, and we usually believe such assumptions, even those are not, those without proof. So to challenge it means to say you are questioning its how do you call it? Yeah, you're questioning its truth. Like you're saying, wait, is that really true? That's how you challenge it. You challenge how factual it is. So this is useful in academic thinking where we don't accept ideas just because they are popular, they are trend. You are encouraging deeper thinking here. So you try to use this, of course, when questioning a general belief or popular opinion, or in body paragraphs to show critical thinking. You try to use this particular collocation because you're trying to question the truth, the facts, the truth behind that particular, particular belief, particular assumption. So that is challenge and assumption. Pronunciation-wise, we start with challenge, which has two syllables. It starts with chal. So this particular syllable is the stressed syllable. So there's an emphasis given to it. So it starts with a sound of a consonant cluster sound, which is ch, ch. C and H, ch, ch. Now in the IPA transcription, this is its symbol. That one, T and it looks like TF. Okay, so that's the IPA symbol for the ch sound or the CH sound. That's and then this particular syllable chal, it also uses a short vowel sound and ends with the letter L sound. Following this is lench, which starts with the letter L sound, and then followed by a short E vowel sound, and then followed by a nasal sound, which is the N sound. That's a nasal sound, and it ends with the letter J sound. Now this is the IP symbol for the letter J sound. Okay, D and Z with a tail on it, or something like that. But that's the IPA symbol for the J sound, which is the J, J. That's the sound of letter J, letter J. So this is challenge. Syllable stressed on first syllable. Challenge. Following this is a schwa sound, an, with a nasal sound. And then following is assumption. Again, assumption, which has 3 syllables, starting with a schwa sound, again, then followed by sump, which is the stressed syllable here. It has a short vowel sound here. Sump, sump. Again, sump. Make sure that you pronounce the letter P at the end. Sump. And then followed by shon. Now, if there is, I've given this tip actually on a few times already in our previous sessions. I've given this tip. If you see a TION in the spelling of a word, it is most likely pronounced as shon. Again, shon. It starts with the letter S, with the consonant clusters S and H, which sounds like sh. That's the sound it makes, and then followed by a schwa sound, and then it ends with an N sound or the nasal sound. So that's shun. Now the symbol for the consonant SH is F without a line in the middle, something like that. The one I highlighted. Okay, so that's the symbol for sh sound or the SH sound. So this is assumption. Again, assumption. All in all, we try to say it together. We get challenge and assumption. Again, challenge and assumption. Next to this is express a viewpoint. Again, express a viewpoint, meaning to state an opinion clearly. You want to say what you think about something. Now, we understand a viewpoint is your opinion, right? So to express it means to communicate your thoughts clearly. Now, in academic settings, you are expected to state your opinions confidently and back them up with reasons and evidence. So that's express a viewpoint. So you try to, you are like asked, what do you think? And then you, of course, you give your viewpoint. You give your opinion on that particular subject. When it comes to pronunciation, there's we start with express, which has, of course, clearly 2 syllables. First is ik. Again, ik, which with a short E vowel sound and ends with a K sound or letter K sound or K sound. Although the, how do you call that? How do you call that? Yeah. Although the spelling is letter X, right? Not although, but yeah, the letter X sound is, the sound it makes is X, which is a combination of a short E vowel sound, letter K sound, and a hissing sound at the end. So that's how we try to say this particular letter. And then going back to the express, the second syllable is press. Again, express. It starts with a hissing sound and it ends with a hissing sound. There is a short E vowel sound in the middle as well as consonant cluster right before it. So we get express. This the second syllable is the stressed syllable, express. And then followed by a schwa sound. Following that schwa sound, the a sound, is viewpoint, which has also two syllables. Starting with view, the first syllable, and the stressed syllable also. It starts with letter V sound, or the V sound, which is V, a voiced sound. V. So that's view. Uh, as you can see here, it creates the sound of the letter Y. So that's again the symbol as letter J in the IPA transcription, but that's the symbol of the letter Y sound. So there's a letter Y sound here, view, Y and U, and then we add letter V in the beginning, so we get view. Again, view. Next syllable is point, which has a clear oi diphthong sound. So the diphthong sound again is oi, point, and then a consonant cluster at the end. The consonants N and T creates the one sound ent. Again, nt, not ent, but nt, nt. So we get point. Again, point. All in all, the word is viewpoint. Stress on the first. Viewpoint. We try to say these words together. We get express a viewpoint. Again, express a viewpoint. Now, that is the last collocation for argument and opinion collocations. So we get take a stance, present an argument, put forward a claim, support a hypothesis, challenge an assumption, express a viewpoint. Now, of course, to check if we get that, we shall have a time to practice. We will have a practice drill. Very, very easy and simple practice drill. I just want you to read the sentence with me, the sample sentence with me. The ones highlighted and red is the collocation that we've talked earlier. Okay, so just read the whole sentence, just to practice what we have discussed so far. All right, let's start. In academic essays, it's important to take a stance on the issue being discussed. The writer presents an argument in favor of stricter environmental laws. The researcher put forward a claim that urbanization affects mental health. Data from the survey supports the hypothesis that students study more under pressure. I want to actually point something about hypothesis. When we say hypothesis, that's a singular, that's pertaining to a singular form of this particular word. But if we try to pronounce it with a buzzing sound, like hypotheses with a long E vowel sound at the end, as well as a buzzing sound at the end, that's the equivalent plural form of this word. So hypothesis is the singular form. Hypotheses is the plural form. We are referring to many hypotheses. Okay, just a quick note. All right. Next to this is the author challenges the assumption that technology always improves communication. You should express your viewpoint clearly in the speaking section of the test. And that is the last phrase. We are going to move on to the second set of phrases, and I guess the last set of phrases for today's session, because we will be continuing with our discussion tomorrow. There are, I prepared a total of 5 sets of phrases. Not phrases, but yeah, these are phrases, but we call here it as collocations. So I've prepared 5 sets of collocations. We will talk about the first 2 for today and then continue the other 3 for tomorrow. All right. So just, I really don't want to put all together in one session, because you might get bombarded with all these particular information that I'm giving you, and as well as the pronunciation of these particular collocations. It will not do good to your brain. It will not do good to your learning, bombarding you with such information, of course, is not good. So I try to pace myself so that it is really a healthy learning with you. Okay? All right. Continuing with the next set of collocations, which are under cause and effect. Now here may basically the formal word combinations I will be discussing is used to explain why something happens, which is of course the cause, and what happens because of it, which is the effect. Okay, so this is still essential for IELTS and TOEFL exams. First of the set is lead to consequences. Again, lead to consequences, meaning cause certain results. So you, how do you call that? This is to cause something to happen, which is often a result, as it is mentioned here. So basically, this phrase, it describes how one event or action causes a result, which is, often negative or serious, because the word leads to, or the words leads to, it connects a cause with its effect. Then the word consequences, these are the results, sometimes unexpected, sometimes planned. Now, we try to use this particular collocation when explaining outcomes in essays, for example, about policy maybe, or about environment maybe, or technology can also be a topic for that. You can also use this particular collocation, lead to consequences, when discussing the effects of a subject like a social or economic changes, perhaps. So those are just some of the many contexts that you can use this particular collocations. But the tone, of course, here usually is logical, of course, formal, and sometimes cautionary. When it comes to pronunciation, lead to consequences. Again, lead to consequences, it starts with lead, which has a clear long E sound. Now, look at the IPA transcription. I mentioned it on our previous session, but I'm going to review it. If an IPA transcription, in the IPA transcription, if a vowel, a symbol is paired with a colon, or there's a colon beside a vowel symbol, it is most likely referring to a long vowel sound. Here, the E sound is paired with a colon symbol, so this is pertaining to a long E vowel sound. All right. Again, if there's a colon beside a vowel symbol in the IPA transcription, it is most likely a long vowel sound. All right. So that's just a quick note. So here in lead, this has a long E vowel sound. So it is pronounced as lead. Again, lead. This is one clear syllable. Okay? And this particular syllable is stressed, or it is emphasized. So lead, you say it a bit longer and louder. Lead. Following this is to. Again, to. Lead to. Again, to. There's an O vowel, an U vowel sound here. It's a bit longer, but not too long. Okay? To. Lead to consequences. All right? Because there's also a colon beside it. But usually, since this is, we're referring to formal and academic pronunciation, but in conversations, in conversational English, this particular word to is often reduced to a soft vowel sound, which, we say it a bit quicker, basically. We say it a bit faster in fluent speech or in natural speech. So usually it is lead to consequences. Like it's not very quick, but it's quick compared to its original pronunciation or academic or formal equivalent pronunciation. Okay? But here, since we're referring to academic and formal pronunciation, It's a bit longer. We hold it a bit longer. A little, just a little bit longer. All right. Following this is consequences. Again, consequences. There's four syllables all in all, starting with con, which is the stressed syllable. Con here, there's a soft o sound in the middle. It starts with the letter C sound, or one of the letter C sound, the version with K sound, and then it ends with a nasal sound, which is the N sound. Okay, so con, that's a stressed syllable. Following this is s, s, consequences, s, s. So there's a short E vowel sound basically here, s. Then the third syllable is quen. Quen. We know that the sound of letter Q is the consonant cluster K and W, right? So that's the sound the letter Q makes. So we follow that K and W sound. So we blend the sounds of those two consonants together. We get the letter Q sound, which is que. Que here. Quen. So that's the third syllable, quen. There's a short e and relaxed e vowel sound here. Still ending with a nasal sound, letter N. And then it ends with C's, consequences. So there's a short E vowel sound and a buzzing sound at the end, despite its spelling with a letter S, which is a hissing sound supposedly. But here, as shown in the IP transcription, we follow that. It is usually, or it is pronounced with a buzzing sound, with a voiced Z sound. Okay, so this is consequences. All in all, we say it together, lead to consequences. Again, lead to consequences. That's the first cause and effect collocation. Second is bring about change. Again, bring about change, meaning to cause something new or different to happen, or you want to start a response or change. That's the meaning of it. This is a formal and somewhat positive phrase that means to cause or create change, because the words bring about here, it is a phrasal verb that means cause. Okay, it just basically means cause. Now, the change, of course, the word change can be in behavior, can be in systems, attitudes, maybe laws. So it is often used when the action is intentional or planned. Trigger a reaction. So here, when it comes to pronunciation, trigger a reaction. Oh, for a moment. We are trigger a reaction actually. For a moment. Hello? Hello once again. I think I was far on the next table when I looked at it. But we are here. I've looked at my... Okay, let's go back. All right. Where am I again? I'm done with lead to consequences, so we are going to focus on the second one, which is trigger reaction. Sorry for that. Don't know where bring about change came from, but that's just, one of the many collocations on cause and effect. That's just another way to say bring about a shift, basically, which is the third collocation. But yeah, we focus on trigger a reaction here. So here, meaning trigger a reaction, it means to start a response or change. Basically, you want to say that you want to say like there's a trigger, which is we understand it is often used when something suddenly causes a reaction, most likely an emotional or political response in this sense. So we want to trigger such a reaction. Okay, so we try to use that, of course, trigger a reaction. And when it comes to pronunciation, there are three words here. We start with trigger. Again, trigger. Sorry for a moment. All right. We start with trigger. Now here, as you can see, it starts with, there's two syllables here, trigger. We start with the first syllable, which is the stressed syllable here. The first syllable, it starts with a consonant cluster of the consonants T and R. Now the sounds it creates are, individually, the sound it creates are T, T, and her, her. So we try to combine those individual sounds of those individual consonants. We get ter. Again, ter. Of course, that's not the end of it. There's a short E vowel sound after it, which is a short E vowel sound. So we try to blend that particular sound with the consonant cluster. We get tree. Again, tree. So that's the first syllable and the stressed syllable, remember. Next to that is gur. Again, gur. So gur, here it starts with a letter G sound, which is a g sound, and then followed by a short e vowel sound. It ends with an r sound, of course. Following this word is a schwa sound, which is an a sound. And then following that schwa sound is reaction, which has three syllables. It starts with re, again, re, which has a short e vowel sound. It starts with an r sound and then followed by a short e vowel sound. And then following that is ak, which is our emphasis here. So this is the stressed syllable of this particular word. So far, we got two syllables, not two syllables, but two stressed syllables. First is the first syllable of the first word, which is tree, tree. Then the second one is the second syllable of the third word, reaction, which is ak. So those are the stressed syllables for this particular collocation. So that is ak. Very simple, short a vowel sound and then letter K sound at the end. Next is, of course, we are familiar with this, right? I've mentioned it earlier. If a particular word has a T-I-O-N spelling on it, most likely the sound is shon. Again, shon. In the IPA's transcription, this is its form, shon. Okay? There's a clear schwa sound in the middle. So, all in all, we try to say it together. Trigger a reaction. Again, trigger a reaction. So, again, we try to use this particular phrase or collocation when describing sensitive topics, maybe, and events that causes strong responses. So, TOEFL and IELTS integrated tasks often include this in reading or listening, of course. Third collocation, I've already talked about it, but in another term, another way, which is bring about an action. I've mentioned that earlier, but we're going to focus on a more formal or academic one, which is bring about a shift. Another way to say about bring about a change in a more formal and academic way is bring about a shift, meaning to cause a change, especially one that is important or long term. So this phrase emphasizes that someone or something caused a transition from one state to another. So the word shift here, it can be an attitude. I've mentioned earlier, right? An attitude, a mindset or policy or law, a behavior, all of those things, and anything that is related in particular on those things. So the phrase here, it is flexible. It works well in social sciences, in economics, and maybe education topics. So that is why it's considered as flexible. Bring about a shift. So you try to use this when describing gradual or significant changes in IELTS or TOEFL, writing or speaking, for example, particularly when talking about solutions, changes in society, or evolving trends. Okay? Pronunciation-wise, we get here, bring about a change. We start with bring, which has a which starts with a consonant cluster, br. That's the consonant cluster, br, which is a blend of the individual consonants b and r, which has sounds b, not b, but b, and So we combine, we blend those sounds, individual sounds together, we get br. Again, br. Of course, that's not the end of it because it is followed by a short e vowel sound. So far we get bre, bre. And then it ends, of course, it's still not the end. It ends with a nasal sound, which is the ng sound or the sound. Again, sound. So the sound is more of like found in the nasal part of your nasal part. So here, okay, sound. That's the sound ng creates. All in all, we combine those individual sounds of this particular word, we get bring. Again, bring. This bring, this is also the stressed syllable. It is an emphasized word. Following this is a schwa sound, and then about, the next word. It starts with a short a vowel sound, and then bout, which has a clear diphthong sound. The diphthong sound here is ow. So bout, ow. All in all, this is about. Then followed by a schwa sound still, another schwa sound, and it ends with shift. Again, shift, which starts with an sh sound or the sh sound, and then followed by a short e vowel sound in the middle, and then it ends with a consonant cluster sound, which are the consonants f and t, which has the sound of ft. Again, ft. So it is more, it is more amplified, it is more visible when said in a word, when it is pronounced in a word, like in shift. Again, shift. All in all, we get bring about a shift. Okay? Bring about a shift. Fourth collocation is stem from a factor. Again, stem from a factor, meaning originate from a cause. Yeah, originate from a cause. So stem from, those words, it is considered as a metaphor, like a plant growing from a stem. It means something starts from a deeper root cause. Use this when explaining the original source of a problem, an idea, or a situation. So it is best for cause and effect writing or when analyzing the origin of an issue. So that is stem from a factor. When it comes to pronunciation, it starts with stem, which has one syllable only, and it uses a short e vowel sound. This particular syllable is also stressed. So stem, you say it a bit longer and louder. Following this is from, which has a schwa sound. It starts with a consonant cluster, fur, and then you pair it with a vowel and it ends with the nasal sound M. So from. Again, from. And following this is the schwa sound And lastly, factor, which has two syllables. Factor. First is fac, which has which in here the vowel sound is short, fac, and then tor, the second syllable, it's the vowel sound is also, it's also short. It's also weak and stressed because the in the IPA transcription it clearly shows a schwa sound. So the vowel sound is weak and stressed. All in all, this is factor. We try to combine those words together. We get stem from a factor. Again, stem from a factor. The stressed syllables are stem and the first syllable of factor, which is fac. So we get stem from a factor. That's the whole collocation. Next is result in failure or success. Result in failure, result in success, meaning end with a specific outcome, either a negative or positive outcome. Now, the words result in, it is a clear way to show outcomes, whether good, which is the success, or bad, which is the failure. So it works well in conclusions or when describing what happened after an action or decision. That's result in failure or result in a success. Pronunciation-wise, we get here it starts with result. So there's a buzzing sound here. There's two distinct syllables for this particular word. It starts with re, which has a short e vowel sound, and then followed by zolt, which is the stressed syllable here. It starts with a buzzing sound, and then there's a short o vowel sound here. So it's we say it a bit quicker. So this is zolt. All in all, the word is result. Again, result, stressing on the second syllable. Following this is in, very easy, short e vowel sound. We keep it light. And then failure. Failure, that's the first option. Failure. Failure has two syllables. It starts with fei, which has a clear a diphthong sound. And then lior. Again, lior. So fail. Failure. So lior, there's a y sound here. Okay, y sound. All in all, this is failure. Failure, stressing on fei. Next option is success, which has also two syllables, starting with suck. We start with a hissing sound, letter S sound, a short a sound. Not a short, it's a short a sound. It's a weak and stressed a vowel sound, and it ends with a k sound. So that's the first syllable. And then ses, which is another version of letter C. So there's two versions of letter C that is shown in this particular word. First is the letter K sound, which is found in the last sound of the first syllable. And then the S sound, or the hissing sound, which is found in the first syllable of the which is found on the second syllable, first sound of it. So two versions of letter C sounds. Going back, ses. So there's a short e vowel sound here, and then it is sandwiched with a hissing sound before and after it. All in all, this is success. Again, success. We try to combine all the words together. We get result in failure or result in success. Lastly, the last collocation that we will be talking for today, we have be attributed to. Again, be attributed to, meaning be considered the cause of something. So to be seen as caused by something or someone. So this passive construction is used to link outcomes to causes, especially on or in formal or academic writing. So for example, a result or achievement may be attributed to hard work, policies, leadership, something like that. So that is be attributed to. Very common in academic reports or essays where you must explain why something happened. Okay? When it comes to pronunciation, we start with be, which has be attributed to, which has a short e vowel sound, and then followed by attributed, attributed, which has four distinct syllables, starting with a short vowel sound, followed by trib, which is the stressed syllable here. It starts with the consonant cluster ter, followed by short e vowel sound, and ends with a b sound. So trib. And then following this, third syllable is u, not u, but u. Again, u. And then it ends with attribute. It ends with ted. Ted. Short e vowel sound. All in all, the word is attributed. Attributed. And the last word is to. Very simple. All in all, we try to combine the words together. We get be attributed to. Again, be attributed to. So these are the collocations for cause and effect: lead to consequences, trigger a reaction, bring about a shift, stem from a factor, result in failure or result in success, and be attributed to. Alright, just like in the first set of phrases, we will of course have a time to practice. Let's have a practice drill. Same pattern, same process. Okay, let's start. Poor planning can lead to serious consequences. In project management, the new policy triggered a strong reaction from the public. Technological advances brought about a significant shift in the workplace. Many health issues stem from environmental factors. Lack of preparation resulted in failure at the exam. The rise in temperature is attributed to global warming. That's the last phrase for today. And so those are the last collocations for set of collocations for today's session. So again, I've mentioned earlier that we will be tackling two set of collocations for today, which we already did, and then we will continue with the last three set of collocations tomorrow. Nice job today, everyone. We've just completed the first half of our lesson on pronouncing academic collocation for IELTS and TOEFL. And you have already practiced some powerful phrases that can really elevate your listening and speaking score. So we focused today on getting the rhythm, the stress, the natural flow right. And that's a big part of sounding fluent and confident in an academic setting. Sorry for that. So tomorrow, as mentioned, we will continue with more advanced collocations, and we will add extra focus on intonation and stress pattern in full sentences, especially in exam style responses. Until then, try to review the phrases we practiced today. If you have time, you can even record yourself or read short academic texts aloud, just to practice. Paying attention to how collocations are grouped and stressed. Of course, that's your goal. Looking forward to part 2. Great effort today, and see you tomorrow. Have a great night ahead, everyone. Goodbye.